Kính thưa quý vị, hôm nay Bảo Nghi được hân hạnh tiếp chuyện cùng một nhân vật rất là quen thuộc trong thành phố của Boston, và ông cũng là một người bạn rất là thân thiết với cộng đồng Việt Nam tại Massachusetts. Và xin được giới thiệu cùng quý vị ông Micheal felary, là ứng cử viên của chức vụ nghị viên thành phố trong nhiệm kỳ 2014 đến 2016, và chúng tôi xin được giới thiệu cùng quý vị. Very nice to meet you, Mr. Micheal felary, and I'm on behalf of the Vietnamese Broadcasting. Glad to have you here to have a few words, and we will go over some topics of your concerns while running for an office. So, would you please?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to come in and speak to the Vietnamese community, a community that adds tremendous value to the city of Boston and makes the city the great city that it is. I enjoy great personal friendships and relationships with the Vietnamese community that date back many, many years. And so I'm proud to be a big supporter of the Vietnamese community, and also proud to be here today. So for those that do not know me, my name is Micheal felary. I'm running for Boston City Council at large. You may know or recognize me from my days on the Boston City Council. I had served 10 years on the Boston City Council and 5 as the council president. And also raising my family in the city of Boston. So I'm committed to Boston. I'm committed to making our schools better, committed to making our streets safer, and committed to creating economic opportunity jobs for all of our residents. And last time I checked, I want to say that there's somewhere in the vicinity of about 11,000 Vietnamese residents that live in and around Dorchester. But I also know that the members of the Vietnamese community live throughout all of Boston's neighborhoods. So they're a growing and thriving constituency, and one that clearly will be courted in this election for their support. The Vietnamese community can make the difference in elections, most definitely in Boston, but we're seeing the Vietnamese community play a role in elections across the country.
Yes, as I mentioned during my introduction for this show, I mentioned like you are a very long time friends with the Vietnamese community. You've been with us like throughout the many years, supporting us in the like one of the big examples is the freedom flag.
The freedom flag, yeah, that was
the yellow with 3 stripes,
right.
and then
which was very important, and that was really largely driven by a show of respect that I and also the city of Boston has for the Vietnamese community. And when the Vietnamese community came to City Hall to express their concern that they wanted the freedom flag to represent their flag and their commitment to our country, I felt it was important to stand up. So it was folks like Bin Nguyen and Nam Pham and Lam Nguyen, Dai Nguyen. So a lot of the folks that are very active in the Vietnamese community came forward, whether it was through Viet-Aid or through the Vietnamese American Association or through the Vietnamese American Business Association of Massachusetts. All those great organizations that do great things on behalf of the Vietnamese community, they all stood together and asked for my support. And I was the very first elected official in Boston and member of the council to recognize that it was an important issue for them. And I carried the cause to make sure that with respect to the city of Boston, that the city of Boston would recognize the freedom flag as the official flag for the Vietnamese community in Boston. So that was a very proud day, I think, not just for myself, but also for the Vietnamese community. And it just showed that partnership was very strong and continues to remain strong.
Yes, because I personally very appreciate like your support as well as the other Boston's officials who stood behind the support for the freedom flag, because that represents our community. We are all refugees from Vietnam who escaped the communists, and now we choose Massachusetts to live and to raise and to rove. So we're very glad to have like the Jew and other officials to stay with us. And talking about the Vietnamese, so you have worked with us like for a long time, and now is the time for us to contribute back and stay behind you to support you for what you've done for us. So can you focus more on some topics like you're going to talk to, like not only the Vietnamese community but to everyone while you're running for the office?
And it's when I talk to people in the Vietnamese community, The people in the Vietnamese community want the same things that everyone wants across the city. They want, good quality schools for their children. They want their neighborhood to be safe and crime-free. And they also want an opportunity to participate in the local economy, whether it's a small business owner or whether it's connecting someone to the new emerging innovation district in Boston, or to our life sciences, or through one of our financial institutions. I mean, Boston has a lot of great things happening for it, and it's important that we provide those opportunities for all of our residents. And also the Vietnamese community has expressed their concern that clearly we have great colleges and universities. Boston College, Boston University School of Law, Northeastern, to name a few. But yet when you talk about our Boston public schools, we can and must do better. And we're preparing the next generation. And there are a lot of Vietnamese consumers, there are a lot of Vietnamese children that attend the Boston public schools. I know because my children attend the Boston public schools. They attend the Murphy School over in Dorchester, and a lot of their classmates come from the Vietnamese community in Dorchester. So education is of primary importance. It's important to me as a father and a husband with children in the Boston public schools, but I also know it's a very important issue for the Vietnamese community who take education very seriously. And for many, they may be first generation students that are actually hopefully going on to high school and college in those families. And so that's why it's important, and that's why I've led a number of efforts on the Boston City Council to improve the quality of education, lower the class size, make the school a safe school for the child so that they can learn, give the teachers the tools that they need to teach these kids. And our hope is that we'll be able to close the achievement gap, and we'll have some more successes moving forward.
What do you think about the first generation of the Vietnamese who are all the newcomers? Mm-hmm. Any particularly issues or anything you would concerns or to help them when they just very new to adopt to the life?
I do. I find them to be very hardworking and industrious. And I think you see a lot of small business owners, particularly small Vietnamese business owners, would love the city to help them in their efforts to start their business or to grow their business. And whether you drive up and down Dorchester Avenue, cutting through Fields Corner, you just see a plethora of small Vietnamese business owners that the city clearly could be doing a better job of reaching out to, assisting them in their efforts to help them begin or to grow their business. So that's one thing, particularly in the economic development front, that we ought to keep in mind, that not only do we need to be creating affordable housing so that people can afford to live here, but you want to give people the diversity of businesses in their communities that they're living in, so that you're not just driving down and just seeing a bank and a pizza shop. You want to make sure that there's lots of different types of businesses, not just for the Vietnamese community, but for all of Boston's neighborhoods, and assisting those small business owners and allowing them to take advantage of tax incentives, to allow them to take advantage of grants, through the Main Streets programs and the like. So those are very important pieces of the puzzle, as well as we want to talk about public safety. I mean, it's important to not only have a safe neighborhood where you can raise your family, but it's also, you need a safe neighborhood to run your business.
Yeah, that's right.
Dorchester is one of our neighborhoods where you see an uptick, particularly in violent crime, in youth violent crime. And so doing what we need to do to make sure that we create an environment where we're giving people enough opportunity so that they're not engaging in criminal activity or getting involved in gang activity. And the Vietnamese community is right sort of part and parcel to that. A lot of the stuff is happening around the community that they're trying to raise their families in and to run their businesses, and it's counterproductive to that. So we need to do a better job citywide to make sure that we're doing the best to put enough police officers on the street, making sure that the police department is reflective of the face of Boston, make sure that there's enough Vietnamese police officers on the street so that they can communicate with members of the Vietnamese community for when things are happening in their neighborhood, so that they get that information, so that it helps the police maybe apprehend a suspect or to thwart a crime. At the same time, hopefully be role models for that next generation, that young male or that young female Vietnamese resident that may want to go into law enforcement, or again be a small business owner or be a scientist and take advantage of life sciences and pharmaceutical and the innovation district. So that's all. There's a lot of great things happening in our city, and we need to make sure that we keep everyone connected to that opportunity.
Yes, as long as there's opportunities, we as Vietnamese Americans would like to participate or get involved into whatever the programs that the city has. And for like 10 years being like Boston City Councilors and working very closely with the Vietnamese community, what do you think like our community has contributed to the life in Dorchester particularly, and is there anything that you like to see us to improve or anything you would recognize?
Well, I can say that the diversity of Boston is the strength of Boston, and the Vietnamese community clearly lends a big hand to Boston as a diverse city. So it's always been a two-way street. We recognize and we're grateful for the contributions that the Vietnamese community have made to Boston on a number of fronts. Just again, it could be from a small issue in a neighborhood with a small local civic association that is paying attention to what's happening in the Vietnamese community, or it could be a Vietnamese business owner or a president and CEO of a company that, again, continues to give back to the city through a number of different efforts, whether they're fundraising efforts or they're collaborative efforts with the city. So there's always been a two-way street with the community, with the city of Boston and the Vietnamese community. So want to wish the Vietnamese community continued success, continue to work hard, continue to play a vital role in the city of Boston. You have clearly my attention, and you have the attention of so many other elected leaders that recognize the value of that friendship. And it's a fiercely loyal community. They recognize that when they've come to, whether it's my office or they've come down to City Hall and they've asked for help, and when they've gotten help, they don't forget that. And that's so important, particularly in this business when you're working so closely with so many different groups and organizations. The fact that you get singled out as being someone that's very responsive to the needs and the concerns of the Vietnamese community, no matter how big the issue or how small the issue, the Vietnamese community can count on Michael Flaherty each and every time that they've come down to my office, or they've called me, or they've had someone in the community reach out looking for assistance. So I'm proud to call the Vietnamese community my friend and supporter, and looking forward to getting back to City Hall so that the Vietnamese community has a staunch and strong advocate in city government, making sure that the issues that we're concerned about, the issues that the Vietnamese community are concerned about, will be addressed regularly on the floor of the Boston City Council.
All right, let me take this opportunity to turn to the audience, and I will speak in Vietnamese about your candidacies for the office of Boston City Council.
And if you could also let them know in Vietnamese when the election is,
Yep.
that'd be great.
Kính thưa quý vị, ngày hôm nay Bổ Nghi có cuộc phỏng vấn với ông Michael Flaherty, là một ứng cử viên vào tranh cử cho chức vụ nghị viên thành phố của Boston, và nhiệm kỳ sẽ là tháng Giêng năm 2014 cho tới cuối tháng 11 năm 2016. Và ông Michael Flaherty là một người bạn rất là thân thiết và gần gũi với cộng đồng Việt Nam từ 10 năm qua, khi ông còn là một nghị viên thành phố của Boston, và ông đã làm việc rất là tích cực trong các vấn đề của cộng đồng, như là ủng hộ nghị quyết cờ vàng, và trong hàng năm ông vẫn sát cánh cùng cộng đồng người Việt trong các phong trào đấu tranh tự do dân chủ cho Việt Nam. Và những ngày kỷ niệm Quốc hận 30 tháng 4, ông đều có mặt bên cộng đồng để mà giúp đỡ và đáp ứng tất cả nhu cầu của cộng đồng đề ra. Và trong cái lần tranh cử này thì ông Michael Flaherty kêu gọi sự ủng hộ của tất cả quý vị, những người Việt Nam yêu chuộng tự do đang sinh sống tại thành phố Boston, ủng hộ ông vào chức vụ là Boston City Council at large for nhiệm kỳ 14 và đến 2016. Và ngày bầu cử sơ bộ sẽ là ngày 24 tháng 9 năm 2013, và ngày bầu vào chức vụ chính thức là ngày 5 tháng 11 năm 2013. Xin quý vị cùng phổ biến và cùng kêu gọi mọi người ủng hộ cho ông Michael Flaherty vào chức vụ của Boston City Council at large của thành phố Boston. Và để có kết thúc chương trình thì Bảo Ghi sẽ mời ông Michael Flaherty có thêm vài lời cùng quý vị khán giả. And to conclude our interview today, and I'd like to invite you to have a few words to the audience who's listening to it.
I want to thank you again and thank the Vietnamese community for your continued support over the years, and let them know how important this election is in the city of Boston on September the 24th, and then again on November the 5th, we'll be electing a new mayor for Boston. We'll also be electing district and at-large city councilors. I'm running for one of the 4 open at-large council seats and hoping that I'll once again earn the support and the trust and the confidence of the Vietnamese community to continue to do the great work that I've done on the council, which is again to make sure that we're making Boston the best city that it can be, that we're reaching out to all of its residents, and that we're providing opportunity through increasing quality opportunities in education, through the Boston Public Schools, whether it's reducing crime and violence, particularly youth violent crime, providing opportunities for those that are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction and mental health issues, and also making sure that economic opportunity, when we're building new buildings, when we're creating opportunities for new industries in Boston, that those opportunities flow through all of our neighborhoods and make sure that we reach the Vietnamese community as well. So thank you all for your time and attention, and make sure you get out and vote on September the 24th and then again on November the 5th.
Thank you very much. Và kính thưa quý vị, đây là phần kết thúc của chương trình phỏng vấn ông Michael Felary đang tranh cử vào chức vụ Boston City Councilor at Large của thành phố Boston tại tiểu bang Massachusetts. Xin cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình. Thank you very much. And
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Look forward to coming back here as a city councilor.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.